These are the 5 regions of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, with a total of 20 areas in all. Starting today, I'm locking myself in each and every area in the game, and I'm not allowed to leave until I find a shiny Pokemon in every single one, ending with the Paradox Pokemon of Area 0. Oh, and there's no outbreaks or shiny sandwich boosts allowed, so how long will it take? I wanted to find out. This is Area Locked. This video, we're focusing on the southern region of Paldea. This includes Poco Path and areas 1 through 6. That's 7 total regions and 7 shiny Pokemon we need to find before I can even think about moving on. And without any outbreaks or shiny sandwich boosts, this is gonna get really rough. My only saving grace for this journey will be my trusty shiny charm. If I didn't have that, this challenge would probably take me my entire life. So this is gonna be a huge challenge, and I'll be uploading the next regions as future episodes in this series. And there's gonna be some absolutely crazy moments in those too. So double check that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the Area Locked journey. And now it's time to start our first shiny hunt in the hometown of Cabo Poco, where it all began. The first wild area of the entire game, Poco Path. This is one of the smallest areas I'll be hunting in the entire challenge, but it still actually contains a fairly wide variety of Pokemon, one of which I'll be putting my focus on for this area, the bug-type Tarantula. This guy was one of the first Gen 9 shiny Pokemon I'd ever seen, and it was not because I found one. One of my friends I played the game with found one about 30 seconds into the game, and I've been jealous ever since. So why not start off the challenge by trying to catch one myself? And like I said before, I'm not using any outbreaks or shiny sandwich boosts, but I am going to be using sandwiches to raise the encounter rates of certain types to help encounter my targets, and in this case, a bug-type encounter boost. This will let me spawn way more tarantulas than normal, making it a lot more likely I'll eventually find a shiny bug-type than something like a Lechonk or Hoppip. So after making my bug encounter sandwich, I immediately noticed scatterbugs and tarantulas everywhere, and I was super excited. I actually really wanted both of those shinies and would even be happy with a scatterbug. The pure white is just super clean. And now, I'm not gonna be mad if a random pink Lechonk appears, because I mean, all I need to do for this challenge is catch one shiny per area. But I would be a little sad that the red yarn spider escaped me again. Oh, also, apparently this cave is part of Poco Path, so I guess if I get bored after hours and hours of hunting, I could roll around down here and see if I can find any shiny cave Pokemon too. Well, now that everything was set up, I leaned back in my chair and prepared myself for the inevitable long grind ahead and... That's a weird looking bug, and that bug isn't supposed to be white. That's a freaking shiny scatterbug, barely 20 minutes into the first area of the challenge. And of course, you already know I chunked a crisp white Premier Ball at her to start it off strong. Shiny number 1 of 7 in the Southern Province Poco Path was already complete. Easy game, baby. I can't lie, I was a little disappointed the Tarantula evaded me once again, but I really cannot complain at all with how fast I found that scatterbug. I noticed I still had a bit left on my bug encounter boost sandwich, so I decided to just cruise around and see what awaited me in the huge Southern Area 1. What would my target be this time? There's probably 5 to 10 times more Pokemon in this area, so I will really have my work cut out for me to find... What? Shiny Tarantula just sitting there, minding its own business, barely 1 minute after entering Area 1. You know, in moments like this, I really sometimes wonder if ol' Arceus really is watching over me from above, because stuff like this just does not make any sense. My second shiny Pokemon, and it's been about 30 minutes. I didn't even get to pick my target for Area 1, because my previous target decided to just appear right in front of me. Alright, on to Area 2 then, I guess. Area 2, the city of Cortondo, sprawling fields, and lots of Smolives. This area's target was simple. I wanted this little olive to turn black. A shiny Smoliv was the goal, but there were still a lot of other random Pokemon in the area. So in order to maximize my chances, I decided a grass-type encounter boost sandwich was the play. As long as I don't mess up the sandwich, it should still be smooth sailing. You know, I really shouldn't get as angry as I do at messing up fictional sandwiches in a children's game, but unfortunately that's just how my brain works. Small lives on a rock. What they doing? Unfortunately, the magic did not continue for Area 2, and I realized that getting 2 shiny Pokemon in 30 minutes is not the norm. So I was forced to play like an average person and make multiple sandwiches, which last around 30 minutes each by the way, to continue the grass-boosted hunt. I also continued to disappoint myself by making the absolute worst sandwiches of all time. But the grass boost was still there, and you know what the benefit of spending hours running around with a grass boost in an area populated by Smolives is? Well, if you said finding a shiny Smoliv, you'd be wrong. That's a shiny Combee. Yeah, I can't lie, I almost missed this one, and I had to do a double take because this shiny is not the greatest, and of course, it's a male. So no evolving into the cooler Vespiquen for this little dude. But a shiny is a shiny, and the third catch of the Area Locked Challenge is another bug. The Area 2 shiny Combee. Only took a few hours, which I would actually still consider really lucky. Area 3 was next, and I know that I say I've had a lot of lucky moments before on this channel, but this one might take the cake for one of the absolute craziest single shiny encounters I've ever had. So Area 3 was what I was most excited about for the southern region. A Gen 9 Pokemon with an S-tier shiny form. One of my favorite shinies out of the entire game. And that Pokemon is Cloth. The giant rock crab that turns an insane blue when it's shiny. This was my target 100% for sure. Except I didn't really know where to find Cloth in this area. In fact, I've only seen him a few times in my playthrough of the game. I mostly see things like Shinx, Palmy, or whatever, so I knew I needed a rock-type encounter boosting sandwich to even be able to find this guy more than once or twice in a run. So I got to it again, building a giant sandwich that, okay, honestly, this one might be the best sandwich I'd ever made in my life. Look at how freaking good this sandwich looks. After taking a moment to pride myself for making the world's best BLT sandwich, I turned to start my journey to find a Cloth and... Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any commentary for this one. The first Cloth I saw right in front of me after making my first rock-type sandwich was shiny. Literally, the fastest shiny target I've ever gotten, probably in my life. And it looks amazing. I knew I was gonna catch this guy in the perfectly matching dive ball too, and at this point, things literally could not get any better. But it did. It got better. When I went to check Cloth's summary, I saw it was marked too. A shiny Cloth out of nowhere with a 1 in 50 sleepy mark. Cloth the Sleepy. Even with the shiny charm, this marked Cloth was around a 1 in 68,000 chance to be here. And here he is. Well, I was excited to explore Area 3 and hunt for days, but looks like a few minutes is all I really needed. On to Area 4. Southern Province Area 4, I can confidently say, is the area I have explored the absolute least in my playthrough of Pokemon Violet. I had no clue what types of Pokemon were around this area, but there are definitely some cool ones I might consider for my hunt. Goomy has a pretty nice shiny and would be a fun dragon hunt, but Rockruff is another rock type that has an amazing blue shiny, plus I could evolve it into any form I wanted. But then I realized that Pachirisu and Toxel, Pokemon I didn't see much of at all in my playthrough, also spawned here. Both of those being electric types, I decided to try out an electric sandwich and go for both at once. After making the sandwich, I realized Palmy was spawning a lot too, and don't get me wrong, Palmy is pretty cute, but I'm just not as much of a fan of it as the others, so hopefully I'm able to avoid that one. You know, I can't lie, I had a feeling that one would happen. Shiny Palmy, the little red Pikachu clone of Generation 9, and it was again, somehow, insanely lucky. This might just be a good place, by the way, to stop and remind everyone that if you try this yourself, you will almost for sure not find this many shiny Pokemon. I have no idea how my area lock is going as well as it is, and at this point I felt on top of the world. But you know what they say, what goes up must come down. Area 5 is a pretty huge area in the southeast portion of the Paldea region, and this one is pretty unique because it actually contains grassland, swamp, and rocky areas, so I had a pretty large selection of targets to choose from. and I actually started kind of feeling bad about my missed opportunity to grab a shiny dragon type from the last region, so I decided to pump out another sandwich for dragon encounters, and as I ventured around the area and stumbled upon this giant rocky plateau, I accidentally found the home of 2 really cool dragon types, Bagon and Axu, and there were actually a decent amount of them up here, coupled with the odd Tinkatink or Bronzor or 2. Oh, and there is also just 1 random Mudbray. I'm gonna be honest, I have nothing against Mudbray, but if I missed out on a shiny Axu or Bagon because this 1 in 100 Mudbray spawn decided to be shiny, I might be a little salty. Okay, I take it back, I'll take a shiny Mudbray. It has now been an entire day, and I've moved on to day 2 with nothing shiny in sight. All right, back to normal luck. It's probably about that time, but I will say I'm getting pretty bored of looking at this bleak ground going back and forth, the same path over and over. And I did say this is one of the more diverse areas in the game, and I did still use my Dragon Encounter Boost sandwich, so I went off to explore in some new areas. And I ended up finding a fun and unique shiny Pokemon after all my hard work on the plateau, right? No, not even close, actually. I just spent basically another 2 hours or so lagging and running around the fields and just ended up right back at the plateau again. Except now I was like 32% angrier, so that's cool. Funnily enough, this was around the time that I actually caught a shiny Pokemon, but I still couldn't complete the area for my area lock. Why? Well, my friend Toast actually managed to find a full odds shiny Florges Terra Raid. So of course I asked him if he saved his game before and to just quit and invite me as fast as possible because that's a shiny. And of course, this does not count towards my Area 5 shiny, but it was a nice surprise to get without technically ever leaving the area. Okay, I get it. I'm being punished. I've been playing all day for 2 days now, and at this point, Area 5's hunt has taken me longer than all of my other shiny Pokemon combined times like 10. I don't even care what shiny I get anymore. It can be a Mudbray. Just please let me leave this absolutely dreadful Hi, Bagon. The green dragon is real. A shiny I have always wanted but never owned. One of my favorite Pokemon as a kid back in Generation 3. And after nearly 2 days of constant hunting, Southern Province Area 5 is done. And because this Bagon felt extra special at this moment, I decided to use my one and only friend ball on it because, well, it's literally gonna match a shiny Salamence perfectly. I just hope it doesn't break out. So with that, I decided to use my one and only friend ball on it because... Get in the ball, Bagon. Thanks. And with that, we now have 6 shiny Pokemon with only 1 left on the first part of our journey. Area 6, an area littered with unique, higher level Pokemon. The Psychic Gym, a giant cave system, and Tinkatuffs. You know, I already have a shiny Tinkaton, and it's one of my favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, but I hatched it from an egg, so maybe finding a wild shiny Tinkatuff could be fun. Nah, I shouldn't, I already have one, it's fine. Unless, all right, I made a Fairy Boost sandwich. Yo, Gallade, you good, man? Yeah, no, I saw that. What was going on back there, man? This guy thinks he's slick. Now, the question is, will Area 6 take me 2 days to find a single shiny? Well, the answer to that one is no, because right after I got here, this happened. That is a rock, and the rock is brown. The rock is normally white, like this rock. I caught the brown rock, and the brown rock was marked. 2 marked shinies just in episode 1. 3 days, over 24 hours in-game searching, and the Southern Province area lock is complete. With that, 7 shinies are added to the box, and yet, the journey has just really begun. There are still 4 more major sections of Paldea, and I'm dedicated to hitting every single one. 3 days was lucky. Really, really lucky. I don't know how long this will take, but I do know that you'll probably want to be here for it all. Part 1 of Area Locked is complete.